Welcome back. This is another video in our series on formatting text in Decisions. Today, I'm going to be showing a small application to get the file names from an email attachment to list in the body of the email and how to remove those file extension placeholders dynamically. We're going to be utilizing split and join strings to achieve this. So there are many steps that you can utilize to join and split strings in Decisions. I'm just going to speak about them broadly and then show you a couple of examples. An important thing to realize is that all of your join string steps are going to input a list of strings and output a single string, whereas all of your split string steps are going to do the opposite. They're going to input a single string and output a list of strings. So with join strings, there are lots of options in Decisions. You can take a look at our documentation site to kind of parse through those. But you can join strings. You can join them with a special character like a tab or a line break, or you can join them without a separator to consolidate them. And we have examples of all three of those on the screen. And when it comes to split strings, you are going to have a handful of steps as well, but just a thing that you need to realize is that you are going to input a string and output a list of strings, so that we are going to be utilizing that in our small application here in just a moment. With the split string step, you are going to designate a separator, and that can be anything as a constant. It can be a series of characters or a singular character. You can also split strings by character position, so you can say at the 5th position, that's where we want to split it, and you can see that example on the right side. So let's take a look at the application in Decisions and see how it works. So this is our tiny application in Decisions. I'm going to start by showing you the functionality through the debug process, and then we will break down kind of how I built it. So start debugging. I'm allowed to choose files here, and I'm just going to pick a handful of small files. So I got 1, 2, we'll add one more here. Boom. So we have these 3 files that we are going to upload. It will then go through this process and send an email with the listed attached files as well as the files attached as well. So it lists the files, but it removes those .txt extensions from them. So you can just kind of create a list. So we're formatting some text here. So how this works is we have a file upload, and then that will output a list of file data. We can then parse through that individually using this for each step. It will take in a string, and it will output each item individually. And we are just looking at the file name here. So again, if I go through debug, I'll pick just one file this time. You'll notice that when it goes through, it is inputting this file name, but it has this txt extension at the end. But you'll notice that when we go to the split string, we are able to separate that txt extension from the file name. So how do we do that? We are utilizing a split string with a separator of that period. So the separator will be removed, and anything after that separator, txt, will be a separate string. We can then make a new list here, but we are only going to take the first output of that split string because the first one is the file name. The last one, because there's only 2, is going to be the file extension. So we're making a new list. It'll go through every one individually. And then we go to a join strings. This join strings is going to take in a list of strings and output a single. So we have a list of strings that goes down to a single string. This single string is then split into 2 strings. Those 2 strings are parsed, and we only use the first to add the first one to a list. And then that list of strings is combined using a line break separator. So rather than having every file name be left to right next to each other, there's a line break in between them. And then we have a send email. We have the files to attach, which is the output of our form. Right? These are the files we uploaded. And then here for the body, I said files to attach count. And then we have the join string with special characters output, which is this one right here. So let's look at it one more time. So I'll attach a couple files, and notice that when they come out of this, they all have these file extensions on them. It goes to split string. It's hit 3 times because we sent it through the for each loop 3 times. And you'll notice that each of those is split from that period. It'll go, and then we add these back to the list 3 times, or add item to the list 3 times. And then we get this singular output. But you'll notice that these are a list. That's why we go down here and join these strings. We take all 3 of these. We're joining them with a line break, and it outputs one long string separated by a line break, so that in our email, we have that text formatted the way that we want, file extensions removed, and a count. So that is a quick way to help you format text using split string and join strings in Decisions. Again, this is part of a series on formatting text in Decisions. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to training@decisions.com. Thank you.